Ein wunderschönen guten Abend, euer Grumpi hier. Und wir haben heute ein Video gefunden, in dem Zeddy die ganz neuen Legendaries von ja, Festival of the Legends, von der neuen Expansion, mal in ein Tierlisten-Ranking einordnet. Und das will ich mir mit euch mal angucken, damit wir auch well prepared sind für das kommende Add-on und was da auf uns erwartet. Ich mache kurz Werbung in einer Sache. Denkt daran, vergesst einfach nicht, am Sonntag gibt's auch nochmal ein Standard Hearthstone-Event. Ja, ich verlinke euch das Ganze mal hier oben, da könnt ihr dann noch mitmachen. Mich wahnsinnig drüber freuen. So, kurze Unterbrechung und dann geht's weiter. Bis gleich. Ciao, ciao. Hallo liebe Zuschauer, auch mich kann man in Zukunft unter meinen Videos finanziell unterstützen, damit auch weiterhin Live-Events in Regelmäßigkeiten stattfinden, ob mit den Super Thanks-Tasten, die unter den Videos stattfinden, wo man mit einem kleinen Obolus in verschiedenen Stufen das einzelne Video monetarisieren kann, oder aber auch neben dem Porträt Kanalmitglied auf diesem Kanal zu werden, wo ihr für einen kleinen monatlichen Obolus weiterhin auch euren Namen in grün seht, weitere Logos bekommt, ja, auf zusätzliche Emotes Zugriff habt. Aber ganz wichtig, ja, auch hier in jedem meiner Videos hinten namentlich als Supporter live erwähnt werdet und in den Live-Events, was das Anmelden und das Rausrotieren bei beispielsweise den Community Battleout die Priorität genießt. Ich würde mich wahnsinnig freuen, wenn ihr mich auch weiterhin unterstützen würdet, sodass sich das Ganze, was hier eingenommen wird, auch wieder in Live-Events stattfinden kann, damit wir hier auch weiterhin coolen Content generieren könnt. In dem Sinne, habt viel Spaß nur mit dem Video. Ich bedanke mich schon mal im Voraus. Euer Grumpi. Ciao, ciao. So, und ich würde sagen, wir gehen mal rein einfach, ja, mal sehen, was Zeddy da so sagt.
Everybody's favorite class, Warrior, Black Rock and Roll.
So, Black Rock and Roll. Give all minions in your deck attack and health equal to their costs. Eigentlich cool.
Mana fire spell, give all minions in your deck attack and health equal to their cost. So let's say we have Boulderfist Ogre in our deck. We play this spell. Boulderfist goes from a card with good stats for the cost to all of a sudden he gets +6/+6 and has absurd stats for the cost. I do think this card's good. Like, if you can live after playing this, you're probably going to win the game. If you're playing like a baby, like a Trench Stalker, for example, you're just going to destroy your opponent. That gets +9/+9. It's absurd. The thing is, you have to survive, and Warrior lost a lot of its.
Ist halt super bescheuert, ne? Der eine verliert einen Punkt, der eine gewinnt einen Punkt.
Tools didn't get a lot of great stuff. You got the rifts to try and like get you there. Seems unlikely.
Also ich persönlich würde ihn ins C. Oh, er gibt den B. Das hätte ich nicht gemacht, Leute. Das hätte ich nicht gemacht. Bounce around. Return all friendly minions to your hand. They cost 1 this turn. Also bounce alle freundlichen Minions auf deine Hand, die kosten dein 1 nächsten Turn.
Return all friendly minions to your hand. They cost 1 this turn. It's like Tenwu, except 1 mana more, all your minions. You can't shadow step this like Tenwu, but you can prep it.
Ja, also das finde ich natürlich krank, ne? Er sagte auch, für 2 kann der Schurke einen freundlichen auf die Hand geben und jetzt können wir für 3 alle auf die Hand geben. Gut, du kannst den nicht shadow steppen. Ja, weil es ein Spell ist, aber trotzdem insane. Also ich würd's A. Ich würde es eindeutig ein A-Ticket geben, oder?
And you have like the refresh weapon. There's a lot of scary things with this card. I'm going to give it an A. I feel like it's going to
sehe ich genauso.
At some point, maybe not right away, but that miracle package wants to bounce stuff, and you can bounce a lot of that stuff or make a combo. It's absurd. I don't love it, but hey, I think it will be a good card. Next, we have Cagehead, a Deathlight Legendary, double unholy.
Was ist das denn immer? Ja, Todesröcheln. Beschwöre einen neuen neuer Blightboar mit Eifer und Taunt und Spot.
Rainbow. It's an 8 mana 5/1, so Magma Rager stats not so good for an 8-drop. However, Deathrattle summon a 9/9 Blightboar with charge and taunt.
Also ist mal alter Schwede, was soll das? Ist das ein C-Tier oder ein F-Tier sogar?
And we have all these Deathrattle synergy cards where you can just all of a sudden murder your opponent with these boars. And I think
kostet halt 8.
And I think you could even play this card in a deck that, you know, just has Construct Quarter and just destroy this, and you get a 9/9 with charge and taunt. It's super good. That's a third of your opponent's health effectively right there, and you get a giant threat. And all
Nein,
that.
scheiße, es kostet halt 8.
I think it's
Ey, das ist für mich C, Leute, C.
Play it either just like, yeah, in like a mid-range deck.
Sehe ich überhaupt nicht so.
Go for a wombo combo. Next we have the climactic Necrod.
So, 10. Er hat Lifesteal. Okay. Verursacht 5 Schaden. Dann belebt er nochmal 2 1/1er Seelen. Und dann steht da noch, das wird nochmal random verbessert für die Leichen, die er.
Necrotic Explosion, the 10 mana Rainbow Deathlight spell, Lifesteal. Deal 5 damage, summon 2 1/1 souls, randomly improved by his corpses you've spent. All 3 of these things, whether it's the damage,
Nein, auch richtig Schrott.
Improve randomly and can get rather large, and you can target this damage phase.
F-Tier.
Do some pretty gross stuff, but it's only going to Rainbow
F-Tier,
which hasn't quite worked out yet, but it feels like a pretty insane win condition that not only could kill your opponent, but also just heal you up and give you a huge board swing, kind of reminiscent of a Marogar, which is not present in any Rainbow.
Findet er auch wieder ganz gut. Finde ich überhaupt nicht.
This could be it. I'm going to give it a B. I'm not sold on it being amazing. Also, you cannot discover this or generate this card.
Nein,
just
nie im
like
Leben.
The rogue spell we just took a look at earlier. Those are the only 2 that are exempt from those rules. Next, we have DJ Manastorm. 10 mana.
So, DJ Manastorm. 10. Leute, was sind die so teuer? 10, 8, 8. Kampfschrei. Setzt die Kosten auf Zaubersprüche in deiner Hand auf 0. Nachdem du einen gecastet hast, kosten die anderen dann 1. Ne? Also castest du noch einen, dann 2.
Mage Legendary, set the cost of spells in your hand to 0. After you cast one, the others cost 1 more. So you play this, you can play
Finde ich geil.
any spell you want for 0 mana, and then it goes up from there.
Also den gebe ich im A-Tier.
The card seems like it could be powerful, but it's 10 mana, and there's not a lot of good big spells for Mage right now. The best you have is like, I think it's Arcane Defenders, the 8 mana spell that gives you taunts. There's no 9 mana spell. I guess you could Pyroblast, but that's not typically super effective. It's just like, I don't see the real support for this at the moment.
Also ich merke schon, wir werden in diesem Video nicht übereinkommen. Das ist ja...
So I'm gonna give it a C for now. It's a card that
C.
can get a lot better.
Finde ich mega stark.
But right now, I just don't see it. Next, we have the card we've already have access to, ETC.
Okay, ETC.
You probably know how it works. So ready, neutral, legendary. Basically, get to sideboard. You get to discover
Ich finde,
a card that's not in
ETC
your deck
ist A und gut ist.
I think we've seen it play out pretty well. Feels like a B card. Goes into some decks, doesn't go into others. It doesn't feel amazing in anything, but it's good, and it's a solid card. I think that's a solid B so far. We have Going Down Swinging, a 5 mana legendary.
Going Down Swinging. Gibt deinem Helden +2 Attack und Immunität in diesem Turn. Und dann attackiert er jeden Enemy Minion.
For Demon Hunter, give your hero +2 attack.
Ja, das ist ja richtig krank.
Attack each enemy minion. So this can like possibly clear an entire board. You can give yourself a bit of a buff and wipe the board. If you have Lifesteal attached, you can do a lot of good stuff. I think it's a really
Nein, das
card.
räumt ja immer das Board ab.
Playing like more of a mid-range, the big Demon Hunter strategy, just some survivability with this card.
Finde ich A-Tier.
Again, not sold as something amazing, but I think it will see play, so I will give it a B.
Sehe ich auch nicht so.
Hedonis, the 4 mana 4/8 Priest Legendary. It deals.
Okay, Heartbreaker Hedanis, also Kampfschrei, macht 4 Damage gegen den eigenen Minion und Overheal macht 5 Damage bei einem Random Enemy. Okay, also macht sich selber 4 Schaden und dann musst du ihn halt hochheilen. Wenn er hochheilt, macht er kontinuierlich Schaden.
4 damage to itself, then overheal, you deal 5 damage to a random enemy. So it becomes a 4/4. You then need to get it back up to a 4/8.
Das finde ich eine solide B.
Or you could heal it above. You could
Eher
heal
nicht.
for 5, right? And immediately get 5. There aren't a lot of great ways to repeat this in standard right now. You have the new location and a couple of healing cards, but overall, it feels very awkward, and I feel like this card needs to get a lot of uses out of it to make it worth running. So I'm gonna give it a C. In
Ein C?
TK shenanigans with like Radiant Elemental, a lot of cheap healing spells, but I really just don't see it in standard. So one that I think will get better over time. I just don't see
Tja, sehe ich auch total anders.
Infinitize the Maxitude.
Okay, Infinitize the Maxitude. Einfach, es ist Discover a Spell, okay, das ist klar, ne? Und dann Finale, Return this to your hand at end of turn. Nicht schlecht.
Discover a spell, Fidelity, so you spend your last 2 mana on this, return this to your hand at end of turn, so you will be able to basically go infinite. It's kind of expensive-ish. It's not bad. It's infinite value as long as you get Fidelity. I feel like you're going to discover this a lot of times, like Vast Wisdom or School Teacher. You can discover this card and then roll with it. I don't know how much you hard run it, but again, it's not terrible. And I've like a, more of a grinder.
Finde ich eine B. B und gut ist.
But 2 mana every turn just to get a spell, and you have to finish off with it. If you want to go infinite, it can make it rather awkward. I'll give it a low B. I think it could pop up in some decks, but
was für ein Low B?
Relatively fringe. We have
naja.
Inza, the 5 mana 5/5 Shaman Legend.
Okay, Inza, Battlecry. For the rest of the game, also für das, Quatsch, also, ne, für den Rest des Spiels, deine Overload-Karten kosten 1 weniger.
Battlecry. For the rest of the game, your Overload cards cost 1 less. I think Overload Shaman looks legitimate. I think you're going to want to run this as a mass mana cheat. It also
das ist für mich C.
You generate, so any created by cards that come in later, it's like an aura effect, right?
Finde ich mega C, wenn nicht noch schlechter.
And it's everything. I think it's solid. We haven't seen Overload Shaman pop off since the quest was a thing, and that's rotating. Again, another B minion, but I do think we'll see play.
Den werden wir niemals sehen.
Insect, the 5 mana.
So, lass uns gucken. Für 5 transformiere einen Minion in Ragnaros, den Firelord. Mit Overload 2. Ja, das ist doch geil.
Spell, transform a minion into Ragnaros the Fire Lord Overload
Was?
2. So you can play Rag theoretically on turn 4 with the coin, or if you're able to cheat this out.
Nein, das ist für mich fast schon S-Tier.
I know a lot of people like, it's just 5 mana Rag or 7 mana Rag because you overload 2, but you have overload synergies going on right now. Plus, you're getting that Rag out early. If you're playing any type of like a Swarm deck, that's like, okay, they got to deal with all your other stuff, and then you have a Ragnaros. I think it's a solid card. You can create it by it as well.
Finde ich fast schon S-Tier. A, S.
I think it's really, really good, and I feel like it's being slept on until I'm completely wrong. We have Kangor Dancing King, 5 mana 3/3.
So, Kangor Dancing King für 5/3/3, Lifesteal und dann hat er Todesröcheln. Tausche ihn mit einer Kreatur von deiner Hand und gib dieser dann Lifesteal, wenn er stirbt. Boah, finde ich super, ey.
Lifesteal, Paladin, Legendary Deathrattle, swap this with a minion in your hand. From your hand to give it Lifesteal. So, this card's only good if it dies, it swaps with something, obviously.
Das ist ja Monster S-Tier, den kannst du ja nur noch...
It gets wrecked by Silence. It can be ignored, it doesn't have Taunt. I feel like this whole hand, like big Paladin stuff is going to be a whiff. I really do. I feel like it's too slow. Paladin doesn't have great ways of destroying.
Finde ich super S-Tier.
Which usually is something you kind of want in these decks. I'm giving it a C. It's just easy to ignore that stuff, and it's just a 3/3 at the end of the day. Yeah, I can do some big Lifesteal and do that again, but it's a large investment that could backfire horribly, especially you're slamming it down against aggro. It's like you're just going to blow up. We have Love Everlasting. Your first spell each turn costs 2 less. Lasts until you don't play a spell on your turn. I'm giving this straight up an S. I see it in Wild. It's in...
Was gibt dir hier ein S? Love Everlasting. Dein erster Zauber, jeder Turn kostet 2 weniger. Last until you don't play a spell on your turn. Aber nur, wenn du beim letzten Mal keinen gespielt hast. Was?
Like Big Priest and all that, but Control Priest decks will love it, especially with Sister Svanna. Getting that first Shadow spell for 1 mana is great. But yeah, you play this and it just opens up so much flexibility for you. The downside is you have to have a spell to cast each turn, but you're playing priest. That's usually pretty easy to accomplish because you usually want to play spells, and you can play like, I don't know, identity theft for 1 mana and steal a bunch of value and just go from there. I think it's an auto-include high roll card, and maybe even Shadow Priest, like put it in their
Da bin ich gespannt.
just to get that mana.
Kann ich nicht einschätzen. Ich glaube, die Übersetzung ist anders.
5 mana, 3/4 Mac.
MC Blinktronic, 3/4 für 5, Battlecry, also beide Spieler legen eine 1/2 Mikrofonwaffe ab. Dein Gegner erhöht den Damage mit einem. Your opponents increase all damage they taken by one. Achso, der Damage, den er bekommt, den er erhält von allen Quellen, erhöht sich bei 1. Boah, geil.
Valkyrie, both players equip 1/2 microphones. Your opponent increases all damage they take by 1. It's important to note, Blingtron doesn't amplify the damage. The weapon your opponent will equip. The broken mic is it. So if they can get rid of it, they don't take the damage. But you get to proactively play it, get that extra damage like a Void Touch to 10 it right away, and you could combo this, where if you have like the
Finde ich A.
you play Blingtron, it breaks that weapon, you have, I don't know, 10 mana, you play Astalor, they take 1 billion damage. I see combo potential, I see just swarm potential for aggro decks. I rated this, I believe, a 3.
Boah, Astalor macht ja mit jedem einen Ping immer einen mehr.
It seems very annoying, and it's going to kill a lot of people. It looks really, really strong, and a lot of classes won't be able to break that weapon.
Absolutes S-Tier.
Weapon to break it, so look out for that. We have Mr. Mukla, a 6 mana 10/10 beast for Hunter. Rush, Battlecry, fill your opponent's hand with bananas, so you're basically guaranteed to mill them. You get a 6 mana 10/10 Rush beast that they have to deal with because it's a freaking 10/10, and you're filling their hand with bananas that are probably going to be pretty hard to get rid of at that point in the game, especially if you're playing like a...
Finde ich geil, Mr. Mukla.
This card's incredible.
Für 6/10/10 Alpha, Battlecry, dein Gegner füllt seine komplette Hand mit Bananen auf. Das ist doch mega geil. Wenn der 7 Handkarten hat, dann zieht er halt was, 3 Bananen oder so, 2. Ja, sehe ich auch so. S.
Just the mill component alone can be frustrating enough. I don't think that's like the most important thing or anything, but yeah, I think it can be really, really good. We have Photographer Fizzle, a 3 mana 3/3 neutral legendary Battlecry. Take a snapshot of your current.
So, was macht der Photographer Fizzle? Take a snapshot of your current hand and shuffle it into your deck. Ah, das ist geil. Der macht eine Momentaufnahme deiner Hand und shuffelt alle Karten des Decks. Was ist das denn? Das ist mega S-Tier.
And shuffle it into your deck. It's like a 2 mana spell, the snapshot, that copies your hand. It's not like Dead Man's, which shuffles your whole deck, but still, it's insane value in a game where value doesn't matter a lot. But I do see this team play in like maybe a control priest deck, a control warlock deck, maybe.
Neutrale Karte, ne?
Where you just want more value, you want more cards, but it's a very low B, similar to like
low B, sagt er, low B.
Value. I just don't see that being super relevant. Next we have Posic Audio Engineer, 4 mana 5/4.
Alter Schwede, wir kommen hier nie überein, ja? So, Posic Audio Engineer, Kampfschrei, füge 2 3/3 Bots auf deine Hand des Gegners, und wenn er Todesheucheln hat, dann kommen die für dich. Dafür ist er für 4/5/4.
Deathrattle,
da bin ich auch gespannt.
They are 3 mana 3/3 mechs or bots that your opponent can basically never afford to play because they're 3 mana 3/3s. So this most of the time will be a 4 mana 5/4 Deathrattle, summon a 6/6. I think any aggressive deck just runs this. I think it's incredible. It's super annoying. You can again mill your opponent, all that kind of thing. And
Geht so, ne?
The way to get
ist schon stark
to go away of the 3/3s, they have to play the mechs, which is so expensive that they're never going to want to do that, where you're just going to get a lot of stats. So any deck that wants to vomit stats just plays this card. It is, I think, absurdly good. Maybe I'm
ist schon gut.
But I feel like it's auto-included in any aggro deck. And
will es nicht overraten, aber packt es ins S-Tier. Ja.
Mid-range decks, I just could really see it being super annoying. We have Rhythm and Roots, a 4 mana nature spell where you get to choose.
Rhythm and Roots, ja, wähle. Ja, wähle geheim. Entweder holst du 3 5/5er Ancients in 2 Turns oder 8 8er Giants in 4 Turns.
Secretly, this is for Druid. You summon either 3 5/5 Ancients in 2 turns, so it's 4 mana, 15/15 in stats. It's pretty good. Or you get 3 8/8s in 4 turns. So you play this on 4, not till like turn 9.
Okay, also du suchst für 4 aus, dann 3 Turns weiter kommen entweder 3 5/5er oder 4 Turns weiter kommen 3 8 8er. Ja, eigentlich smart.
Stats that it's a lot of them. It's like 24/24, but against an aggressive deck, you're playing 4 mana, do nothing for a long time.
Boah, finde ich S-Tier.
I feel like
Ja.
the 5/5s will probably be the best option. It's the only possible option, but I feel like this card is just too slow. It allows your opponent to prepare. None of these minions have taunt or rush. You gotta give it to them, whether it be through the new 7 mana spell. I just feel like it's way too slow. It's my first F of this one, not a war
F. F. Alter Schwede.
card, but I just don't see it being good enough.
Leute, ich will den ja nicht fronten, ja, aber das ist, also, wie kann man von F zum S-Tier auseinanderliegen?
We have Rin, Orchestrator of Doom, the Warlock.
Wirklich, Leute, ich möchte, dass wir uns in einem halben Jahr nochmal dieses Video angucken, ja. Kann mir bitte einer einen Kommentar unter mein Video stecken, ja, dass wir uns erinnern, dass wir uns in 6 Monaten bitte dieses Video nochmal angucken.
Legendary, 5 mana, 3/6 Taunt, Deathrattle, both players draw 2 cards.
Beide Spieler ziehen 2 Karten, dann werfen sie 2 Karten ab und dann zerstören sie die obersten 2 Karten von ihrem Deck.
Discard 2 cards and destroy the top 2 cards of their deck. Really flavorful, really trollish. With all the cards we have seen.
C-Tier.
I don't see
C-Tier,
really
F-Tier.
reason to run this in Warlock other than just being a troll. You're probably going to screw yourself up as
Ist
much
nichts,
as you're gonna
ne?
screw your opponent over.
Kannst du auch ins
I'm
F-Tier
giving
packen.
it a low C. It has that fringe potential, but I don't see it being anything more than just a troll card.
Wegen dem
Not
Taunt
really super
kann man den
because most
vielleicht
of the
ins
cards,
C-Tier
you don't
packen.
want them too. You got a lot of good Warlock cards, and it's not helping you with the fatigue strategy or any of like the Warlock, the legendary spell. I think those are both really good. I think Rin is more of just a meme. Then we have Rockmaster Vood, the 4 mana
Kopiere einen.
Battlecry, copy each minion.
Okay, Battlecry für 4/4/3, ja. Kopiere einen Minion auf jedem Minion-Type in your hand.
In your hand, you're playing a 4 mana 4/3. That's terrible. You're getting some minion value in your hand. That's not great. Even if I play my legendary spell, I just want to slam minions, not copy them. It's an F for me. The original that copied dragons was not even that good, and that was like 5 years ago. This is even worse in a lot of ways. I just think it's
Kann man
like
mitgehen.
you have to have a bunch of cards in your hand to get it to be valid. It's just, to me, it's just a really, really bad card, and honestly, just kind of a shame. Next, we have Starlight Grove, the legendary spell.
Okay, Starlight Grove, gebe deinem Hero Divine Shield for the rest of the game, playing a holy spell, refresh it. Wir lesen das nochmal. Gebe Gottesschild deinem Helden für das Rest des Spiels, wenn du einen Holy Spell sprichst, dann refresht er. Okay, muss er ihn erstmal anpingen, wa?
Paladin, 3 mana, give your hero Divine Shield for the rest of the game. Playing a holy spell refreshes it. I guess it could be good in like that Divine Shield Paladin, a control
B-Tier, C-Tier.
I don't see why not running this. You get a lot of defense out of it. It's a weird card to evaluate, but I'm going to give it an A. I think it could slot into even aggressive builds because you can translate that Divine Shield into other things, like the 2 mana tradable spell and all that. So look out for this card. I think it could see play in multiple archetypes. Next, we have Strangle Thorn Heart, the 10 mana tradable legendary hunter spell.
Tradable. Wiederbelebe alle freundlichen Biester, die 5 gekostet haben.
Resurrect all friendly beasts that cost 5 or more. So you can get
Kann man machen,
Mukla
ne?
back. You can
Und hat
get
Tradable.
back in standard, but you can get like the Hydrolodon, the Colossal.
Da finde ich
A lot of
A-Tier.
big boys, and well, it's got tradable. So if it's in your opening hand, you can get rid of it and not worry about ruining things. I think Big Beast Hunter will be a good deck. It's the only deck that can really run this, but I think it will. I'll give it a low A, as I do think like that payoff of
Kann ich
getting
mitleben.
like some massive beast is a huge swing, and those decks have shown they can play more to late game, running Astalor and things like that. We have Symphony of Sins, the 6 mana Warlock proc spell, discover and play a movement, shuffle the other 6 into your deck. You have the 7 deadly sins. They censor lust for some reason. Come on. But regardless, you get to mill cards, make a taunt, get lifesteal, AoE, mana cheat, everything in one card.
Ist schon
das
erste hier. Für 6 Discover and Play. Discover and Play a movement. Shuffle the other 6 into your deck. A-Card.
I don't know, but it gets an S from me because I'm just in love with the card. I'm crafting it golden, I'm playing it, and I just hope it's not completely terrible.
Du darfst nicht vergessen, dass er dir mit den anderen Karten noch das Deck vollmüllen könnte. Ne? Deswegen würde ich es A-Tier sehen.
Love it. We have the one amalgam band, a 7-mana 6/6 legend.
Battlecry, also der Typ ist All, ne? Also ist jeder Minion-Type. Battlecry. Bekomme einen zufälligen Bonus-Effekt für jeden Minion-Type, den du in diesem Game gespielt hast.
It's got the all on it. Valkyrie gain a random bonus effect for each minion.
Wenn man ein Deck drum baut, in Ordnung.
Divine Shield, Rush, Wind Fury, Taunt, all these different things. I guess this is a warrior card because warrior got all the menagerie stuff and like it's
finde ich in Ordnung.
Payoff card. I'm gonna put it with the legendary spell. I think it's decent in those type of decks. You get all those keywords.
Kann man mitgehen.
I guess you could copy it with Voon, but please don't. But yeah, I think it's a card that could get stronger over time when more tribal minions are in the game. And I don't think it's bad. Just don't play it in Wild where it can get like freaking hungry crabbed and die for absolutely nothing. We have Tony, the King of Piracy, neutral legendary.
Ja, das finde ich auch. Tony, King of Piracy. Ey Leute, richtig geil. 5, 4, 6. Beide Spieler tauschen ihre Decks und dann Finale, zieh eine Karte.
I'm in a 4/6 pirate. Both players' decks are swapped. Finale, draw a card.
Das geht gar nicht.
Potential at Warrior, you play this, Fires of Zinajari, and then Steam Cleaner, you can make your opponent fatigue, right? You'll delete their deck after it's flipped back, because it's not a battle cry. It's
also das,
you know, he's on the board, the decks are flipped. So the idea is you flip the decks, you play Fires, then once he dies, it flips back, you delete the deck, all of that. It's very slow, and then you still have to deal with their board and their threats.
Finde ich aber geil.
Warrior got very little tools in that regard. I'm gonna give it a B because these type of cards always see play.
Ja, ist halt kein Battlecry, ne? Also nur, er muss auf dem Board sein, damit die geswappt sind.
Explore and Goro and Geist. Look out, this card can be rather toxic. And last, we have Zog Fog Snout, the 7-mana
7-6-6 und wieder Battlecry. Beschwöre 2-1-1 Quillboards mit Spot. Und dann ist Improved by your hero, Attack and Armor. Okay.
For Druid, Valkyrie, summon 2/1/1 Quillboards with Taunt, improved by your hero attack and armor, gain this turn. I was wrong about this. Say you gain 10 armor, that means you gain 10 health. Gain 10 attack, then the minions gain 10 attack.
Hast du 5 Armor, sind die halt 5/5. Nicht ganz in Ordnung.
Expensive. You really got to set it up. Maybe you got Tour Guide to try and help you out there. But overall, I think it's rather awkward and clunky. And if you're playing that hero power druid, you're just going to be killing them with your hero power and not a couple of
C-Tier für mich.
A low C. But overall, the legendaries, nothing too absolutely amazing. A lot of solid stuff to add to decks. And well, we'll see how wrong or right I am. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.
Ja, das finde ich auch. Wir gucken uns auf jeden Fall mal dieses Video nochmal in 6 Monaten an. Ja, also so weit, wie ich auseinandergelegen habe. Entweder habe ich keine Ahnung oder ich bin hier das große Expansion-Orakel. Ja, aber bitte schreibt einen Kommentar oder legt es euch auf Wiedervorlage, dass wir das in 6 Monaten uns nochmal reinziehen. Ja, ja, ansonsten bin ich natürlich auch daran interessiert, welche Meinung ihr zu den Legendaries habt. Ich danke auf jeden Fall Zeddy, dass er so ein Deck gemacht hat. Grüße gehen raus, Zeddy, besten Dank, ja. Auch relativ aufwendig gemacht mit den ganzen Einblendungen. In dem Sinne, ne, habt viel Spaß mit dem Video, ja. Schönes Wochenende noch, euer Grumpi. Ciao, ciao.